media space
It's okay. Apparently, the OnlyFans empire is collapsing, so maybe it will be over.
has been dominated by how much some top earners are making on OnlyFans. But what hasn't
Gamer shops. I spy with my little eyes. Gamer shops with code Skuchan. I see it. Fuck.
really been discussed is how the company has lost billions of dollars in valuation in a very short amount of time. And things just got even more messy because is now in a very bad situation after the CEO passed away. So essentially you have one of the biggest platforms in the world, especially when it comes to that profitability per.
Bro, OnlyFans earns more than Nvidia? It's more than Apple? It's more than Amazon a day? What? No way. No way. Oh, per employee. Well, okay, fair enough. Amazon people have to pee in a bottle, so that's... yeah, that's fair. Okay, you almost got me like, I was like, holy shit.
Employee metric
yeah,
that
it's
you've
very
probably
human.
seen online. And they just lost the one person running it. And almost nobody knew who he really was and that he existed. So the dude never gave interviews. There's really no real footage of him online. And one of the only pictures of him online was the one from his LinkedIn that had no ties to the platform whatsoever.
It's almost like he didn't want to be caught up with a platform like that. That's crazy.
So that's a little bit interesting, but for years, he was quietly making billions running one of the most controversial platforms on the internet. But then, in just the last month, he passed away and left the entire business in limbo. So, I mean, to catch everyone up to speed here, OF was created in 2016 by a guy named Tim Stokely. He was the youngest kid in a family from Essex, England, and he spent years trying to launch
Wait, he is British?
internet business after internet business and had a whole lot of failures. And the guy burned through a whole bunch of his own money and goodwill from friends and family, to put it lightly. But his dad...
Wait, so if it was in 2016, then we had OnlyFans for 10 years now? Oh my god, has it been that long? Really?
Guy, real name by the way, he watched multiple projects go essentially nowhere and had funded more than a few of them. So when Tim came back with yet another idea, he went, okay, here's £10,000 and that's the last one I'm funding.
You know, I have a plan. We will take the United Kingdom and we will shoot them up to space along with California. That's my plan. I'm still pondering about Florida, okay? But I'm definitely thinking about those two. You son of a bitch. I'm in. This straight up to space.
Little did he know, though, that money became the seed funds. And the original
seed funds?
Structure was simple. Creators set a monthly price, subscribers paid it, and the platform keeps 20%. And I guess the creator walks away with 80%. Tim's original pitch wasn't necessarily focused.
80%? They get 80%? That's actually not a bad cut. Don't know why I thought, I mean, 20% for platform fees. I'm trying to think what Patreon's fees are. No, never mind. It might be bad. I mean, taking 20% just to host your videos.
Focused on adult content, but the idea had been open to anyone who could build a paying audience, including adult creators since 2017. And from the start, it was a family operation in the early days, with Tim's brother, Tom, running the operations and their father, Guy, handling the finances. Guy, I guess, was just their guy and father. And that one group, I guess they figured out the model faster than anyone else. And that showed up in some serious numbers because in 2018, the plan.
Do you think that family is aware that they basically changed the entirety of society with this one idea? Like, yeah, sure, they are rich now, but they basically doomed us all to hell. Like, if there is any heaven, then like 80% of the women of this generation, we are straight to hell. Boom.
Platform was getting traction.
Yeah, but money, that's fair. That's fair.
But running headfirst into some structural problems. The payment processors that made it possible to, you know, actually collect the money from the subscribers weren't a big fan of the adult side of their business. And obviously, you know, no payment processing means no business. Full stop. So Tim sold it. And the buyer...
I'm actually shocked that there is no, like, an adult industry bank yet or something. just a bank that deals with all kind of adult stuff like gambling, corn, literally whatever the fuck you have.
Was someone that almost nobody had heard of,
Soon,
and
he had the Goon Bank.
Nobody would really hear of him for many years to come. His name was Leonid, who was born in Odessa, Ukraine in 1982. His family relocated to Chicago while he was still a kid, and he studied economics at Northwestern University and graduated in 2002. And from that point forward, he essentially built an entire career at, scaling internet companies while keeping his name almost completely out of circulation. And even after he became the owner of one of the most talked about platforms on the planet, a single photo of him made the rounds, the same one over and over, which was attached to a LinkedIn profile that described him as the...
See, what you're learning here, gentlemen, that you shouldn't become a hooker. You should be the pimp. Always be the pimp, not the hooker. You will not be shamed. You will be even richer. Okay, take notes.
President at Leo.com and, completely left OF out of the picture. So essentially what we know about this guy is he lived in a $19 million waterfront property in Miami, but he gave 0 interviews. He made no public statements. He was, I guess, for every practical purpose, someone who did not want to be found. What he was always doing, however, was running his own things, and he'd been building internet businesses since he was a teenager. And by his mid-20s, he'd built and operated more than 10 websites, developing a deep understanding in, I guess, the mechanics of adult content or entertainment and how that whole payment structure works. And
is it entertainment? Can you actually call corn entertainment? I mean, is it entertaining? It's not what it does to me. Is it? Are you not entertained? I mean, sure.
How he can get that to work without getting banned. And since he understood,
no, give me 5 minutes, I will check. Okay.
How this industry worked, when he was presented with a chance to buy, he did so in 2018 for $30 million. And it's safe to say that was a phenomenal investment for him because in 2019, the platform processed around $300 million in total payments and cleared around $7 million in profit. Then a year later, that gross payment volume hit $2.2 billion. Then by 2021, it was approaching $5 billion. And none of these numbers were being announced, but the company files with the UK as required. But Leonid had no interest in turning any of these numbers into some massive press release like many other entrepreneurs would. But then came that moment that probably told you more about OF than anything else, because in August of 2021, the platform announced that it was going to ban explicit content. Now that was confusing to a lot of people because that kind of sounds like if Burger King announced it was going to stop selling burgers.
Bro, they would have gone down the Tumblr route. I remember it like very vaguely when OnlyFans were like trying to attract like social media people just to use it as like, I don't know, like Instagram, like just like safe for work or something. But let's be real, no one is going to go there to check your like little selfies and whatnot.
So why would they ever do that? Well, it makes sense a little bit later on when you get the full picture. But obviously, the response from the creators on their platform was immediate and very clear. So 6 days later, the ban was reversed, and I guess that just showed the...
It reminds me of Gumroad. Gumroad did the same thing. If you don't know, Gumroad is a kind of platform where you can just upload like zips packages of like whatever internet files, and they got rid of all of the NSFW shit. And they were so funny because they were like, okay, this is the last day you can download and sell NSFW anything. And as soon as they shut it down, they wrote out like a big tags that, oh, we made a bunch of money, bunch of money, and we love our creators. And it's like they made a bunch of money because everyone was like panic buying the loots off the platform before they fucking banned it off. Right? But they took credit for it. They were just like, oh, yeah. It's because we are so successful. Oh, yeah. Is it still bad? I bet that it is. I don't know. I will be honest with you. I haven't checked back on it ever since then.
Creators that they're the product. They actually have the power here of this platform. Because at the end of the day, the platform cannot exist without the creators and the consumers paying for it. So the reason all this actually matters becomes a whole lot more clear once you look at the numbers, though. Because in 2024, they processed $7.2 billion in total transactions between the...
Oh my god, who pays for that much corn? You can watch it for free on the internet.
Fans and the creators. OF's cut of that was about 20%, and that came out to $1.41 billion in net revenue. That is a behemoth of a company. But after expenses, pre-tax profit landed at $684 million, with the entire operation ran by only 46 full-time employees. That is insane. And then Leonid's personal payouts track the platform's growth as you would pretty much expect, because in 2021, he collected around $284 million. In 2022, he collected $338 million. In 2023, he collected $472 million.
Bro, if this guy had any wife, are we sure that he actually died to whatever he died to, or just the wife was like dosing like cyanide? That after he mysteriously dies at this young age, yeah, are you sure? Maybe she just like slipped like, hey doc, if you tell this guy that he has cancer, I will give you 50 million, okay? I will keep the rest of it.
And then in 2024, he collected $701 million, which works out to about $2 million per day, every day for the entire year, which means the total earnings.
Hello, loveliest coup.
Hello.
So, I got in touch with SpaceX and Elon Musk on sending Britain and California to the moon, and they gave me the home emote.
Yeah.
Then, I mentioned you and the boy link, and he said, let's get in touch.
Let's go! I knew it. I knew it that Elon would be in.
Between 2021 and 2024, were just under $1.8 billion from a company that he paid roughly $30 million for. That might be one of the best investments of all time. But at the same time, the distribution between the creators is wildly uneven because, you know, you have this whole notion where a bunch of people would start an OF and make a whole bunch of money. But for the most part, that's not true. It's very similar to how—
It's all a lie. Are you telling me if I would start my own and I would put up feet pictures, I wouldn't become a billionaire? Immediately? What the fuck? Put my feet picture?
how Twitch is in a way. I don't really like drawing comparisons between Twitch and but you know, you have a handful of top streamers on Twitch that make a crazy amount of money, and then the average streamer makes way below minimum wage, and that's the case with as well. But I mean, that's just a whole nother topic for its own. But the thing is, by 2025,
are you telling me that I'm not getting millions and billions out of Twitch? Disgusting.
Leonid was looking for a buyer, and it didn't take long for him to realize, selling this platform is going to be
I was told that if I will become a streamer, I will get millions and billions just for showing up and just for being a girl. You know? Top 0.1% streamer talking, and yet, where are my millions? Where is it? Someone is stealing it under my hand.
Challenge, because on paper, I mean, the investment is insane. Over $1.4 billion in
Get debit is the Romanians taking my body. Okay, what the fuck?
annual net revenue, profit margins that most businesses would consider borderline unbelievable, roughly 380 million registered users, and fewer than 50 people on payroll. If you strip the context and handed someone the financial statements, they would assume they were looking at some sort of tech unicorn that had figured out everything. However, the context is the biggest problem here, because a large portion of the institutional investors, you know, the ones with the actual capital to do a deal at this scale, they operate under something called vice clauses, which are restrictions embedded in their agreements with their own backers that prevent them from putting money into certain categories. Because often, I mean, these firms don't only use their own money, they have liquidity providers or people who invest money into them, and they operate as a hedge fund, and then they deploy other people.
You know, I do wish that those British Karens who were trying to take down Steam because they thought that, like, oh, Steam is an evil platform, they would riot against something like this. That maybe you don't want every freshly 18-year-old to open up a corn account, you know?
People's money with the end goal of, you know, beating the S&P 500
it's empowering.
in return. And a lot of people just don't want their funds to go into...
Is it? Listen, answer me a question, humor me. If you would be starting to court a girl and you want to date her and she tells you that she has an OnlyFans and she does like sexual things on it, would you date her? Not actual. No, it would be actually sexual things. It's like not just nudes, like maybe objects going in and out, or you know, something. Do I get a discount? I'm sure you do. Dudes or alone? I don't know. So if it's just alone, that's fine. Absolutely not. Date? Yes. Live together? No. Even more? Those are a hard pass. It depends. No. Nope. Gross. I would not care. Still no. Big no. Still no. Alone plus sugar mama. With a trial period, then yes. It depends. Alone is fine. So as long as someone uses just a toy, it's fine. But like she shows her face, so people will know that your girlfriend is that girlfriend who had the gigantic xenomorph toy up in her bumhole. Yeah, no. Why? Are you xenomorphist? What the fuck?
To, you know, investing in these vice businesses, which
So rude.
considers adult content, tobacco, gambling, and weapons. So regardless of the numbers, a lot of the most obvious buyers are essentially blocked from even writing the check. Then you have the operational risks, which are, you know, Visa and MasterCard. They've already shown that they could, you know, threaten to cut off payment processing for adult platforms. And this is exactly what pushed OF towards its failed 2021 ban. And since the platform is almost entirely reliant on subscription revenue, it has to go through payment processors that take somewhere between 5 to 10% in fees on top of the 2 to 3% fees.
From now on, we are training pigeons, and you have to tie your subscription money to the pigeon's feet, and you will have to send it to me. Okay, that's the only way we will operate, via pigeon post.
From the most regular,
Okay.
you know, Visa and Master, which is far above the usual 2 to 3% that most regular businesses are charged from payment processors. So obviously that is a tax on their margins, and now they're dependent to payment processors. And not only that, but there's also a regulatory pressure. So the UK communications regulator, they hit with a £1.4 million fine in early 2025 for a weak age verification practice, which, you know, might not be the biggest deal for them financially.
Dude, I am so fucking tired of all this age verification nonsense. I wouldn't even care if they would be actually competent at making something that will not just leak half of your personal info. Like, how can they demand that anyone does an age verification when you know that the minute you enter your information, it will be all stolen? Absolutely useless.
But it's a pretty clear sign of where this enforcement is going. And then you have that exit problem, because even if someone bought it, how do they eventually sell it? Like, taking it public through a stock market listing, that's essentially impossible under the current conditions. And there's also no obvious second buyer standing by, and the insane financials don't resolve the fact that this is an asset most people in finance don't really want to be publicly associated with. And I mean, if I was to guess, that might be one of the reasons why they tried to stop allowing adult content on their platform back in, 2021, plus the whole payment processors problem. So the asking price of the platform started at about $8 billion, and no one was interested, despite their insanely high valuation. But the firm that eventually emerged as, I guess, the most serious buyer was Architect Capital, a San Francisco-based investment fund that got its start in 2020, providing credit to Latin American startups. And they had more recently become known for its tendency towards complicated situations, because its founder, James Sagan, was one of the larger
What does the team mean? Complicated situations.
investors in Juul,
What
a
the fuck?
vaping and nicotine product that you guys are probably familiar.
Oh, dude, I almost forgot about vaping. Can I just say what a genius idea it was? That there was a generation that finally stopped smoking because no one wanted to get cancer, but they made flavorful vapes. So there was a brand new generation of kids who got addicted to it. Oh, it's such a genius. Unironically. So, like, there was like a bunch of people who's like, oh, wait a second, I don't want to get lung cancer. And then they were like, okay, kids, this is cotton candy flavored, And then they were like, just like, ooh.
With at this point.
I'm trying to stop smoking. Oh, I'm so sorry. Would you like a vape instead? It's cheddar cheat flavored.
And honestly, that's just a whole nother video because Juul completely took over the world like right before the pandemic, and it definitely did extremely well during the pandemic. And then it seems
I feel very lucky that I didn't try it, because as much as I don't like smoking, I feel like I possibly could have gotten addicted to something that is like sweet and flavorful, you know? Do you know? No, I never even tried it, and I don't want to try it. But like, if it's something like a sweet air, it's almost like snacking, and you know, I mean, there is a reason. I think now you can still vape, but they limited the flavors to basically minty and like, I don't know, like normal or something.
seems like it kind of got like banned. At least most of their flavors got banned, and then suddenly you had like Geek Bars and all these other like off-brand versions of Juul, which arguably are worse, that kind of took over everything. But yeah, long story, but essentially Juul had its products pulled by the shelves by the FDA, and they later settled more than $1 billion in lawsuits over allegations that it was being marketed towards teenagers. So I mean, it's safe to say that Architect's brand has some tolerance for risky investments. And the pitch Sagan made to the potential backers had two core ideas. First, diversify the platform, push it towards mainstream creator niches, and try to make it competitive with something like Patreon, rather than positioning it as purely an adult content site. Obviously, OF is primarily an adult content platform, and the majority of the traffic and subscriptions and the money all comes from that. And without that core, it would just be a minor player when it comes to, like, you know, competing in the space with YouTube, Patreon, and Spotify. And now that Spotify also added long form content and subscription models. But
what? Spotify has long form content and wait,
feel like it might even be smaller than Rumble if they tried to play in the non-adult space. Also,
but you can subscribe to someone's podcast on Spotify? There's such a thing? I will be honest with you, if I ever listen to podcast, I usually watch it on YouTube. Yeah? Well, I never know.
Fun fact, since I'm mentioning Spotify, I was kind of forced to make a Spotify because some dude kept stealing my content and re-uploading it to Spotify. So if you want to enjoy my content on Spotify, you can do that as well. I'll leave a link down below so you guys know that it's actually me and not the dude impersonating me. So if you want to leave a review there, that would also help me not get impersonated. But continuing the video, over the years, OF has genuinely been trying to build a safe for work community on the platform, including chefs, athletes, musicians, comedians.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let's be real, no one is thinking about that when you're like, oh yeah, OnlyFans. Ah yes, the chefs, the comedians.
And fitness coaches. And they also launched their own safe for work streaming service called OFTV back in 2021. And they've actively been trying to pursue other partnerships since. But I don't really think any of it really took off. Though that is, again, still such a tiny portion of what actually is. Then you have, you know, the real competitors here, YouTube, Spotify, and Patreon. They don't allow any 18+ content. And I don't see a world where OF is actually able to compete with any of these platforms in the safer work space because, you know, the stigma that comes with the name. It's just like, I don't know.
Oh, thank God. I would actually really hate it if like YouTube would allow that kind of content. It would sloppify the entire website. It would be plague. Like, holy shit.
I just can't see most creators being very inclined to be like, hey guys, follow my...
It's like you're watching a random video and then the next time is like someone's pee-pee is inside another bloke and it's just like, oh, I see. What the fuck? I was just looking Bioshock lore videos. Where did that come from?
Unless they're paid like a massive bag.
Andrew Ryan getting diddled from behind.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. But that problem will be something the new owner will have to inherit. And another step that they might need to do is acquire a banking license. Because even if they acquire OF, what happens if the payment processors shut them off? That would be really bad. So a potential solution for that would be if the platform could become its own financial institution. I mean, in theory,
That's cool. You don't upload your ASMR content to Spotify? So you missed your millions?
I didn't even know that that's a thing. People listen to ASMR on Spotify? Really? What the fuck?
could. That would definitely be a massive uphill battle for them, though. But
didn't
that would at
know.
least help them reduce the 5 to 10
My potential billions, what the fuck?
10% fee burden. Currently, the valuation on the table is $3.5 billion, with Architect taking 60% of the equity in the deal. So in just a few years, this has essentially lost $4.5 billion in valuation because no one wants to buy it. And the Wall Street Journal had originally reported a total deal value, including debt, at $5.5 billion, compared to an earlier $8 billion valuation just 1 year before, with slower growth and tougher sale process dragging the number down. And this number was apparently dragged down due to slower growth and just a tough sales process. But Sagan's $500 million fund
I really can't wait for all the OnlyFans girls to start whining about AI-generated content. Like, I think right now, AI-generated content is so realistic that most time you can't tell. Like, yeah, sure, if you like zoom in on it or something, or like you know, like actually like checking, then maybe you can from like distortions and tiny mistakes. But let's be real, when you're thinking with your lower head, you're not really looking for those mistakes.
wasn't nearly large enough to cover a deal of this size on its own. So
I mean, they are already complaining about VTubers. OnlyFans models? Why would they care about VTubers? What?
he spent months going door to door trying to assemble the capital. And the family offices turned out to be the most receptive audience, largely because they don't really face the same restrictions that prevent more of the, mainstream fun.
The Melody thing is old. And that wasn't even OF, that was the bait website.
From joining. And the deal was supposed to close by the end of March of this year. But then Leonid passed away. And everything just got way more complicated. Obviously, I don't want to sound disrespectful here, but terrible time. Just when everything seemed aligned.
Not to be disrespectful, but how could you be so selfish? Just ending your life. Yeah, what the fuck? How could you? Like, time and space, man. Time and space. What the fuck?
He passed away. And this happened on
Rude.
March 20th, 2026 in Florida. And the platform made an
Oh, this happened just like, what, like last month? It was so close. Oh, I had no idea. Oh, shit.
announcement with a brief statement saying that he had passed away peacefully after a long battle with cancer, but his family asked for privacy and no details were shared. But what came out in the following days were how few people actually knew about how serious his condition was. And sources told the media that Leonid himself had driven the urgency behind the sale because of his health. Because the guy was apparently trying to get a deal closed specifically because he was concerned about leaving his family in a complicated situation.
I think his family might just be okay. I mean, this guy had like the net worth of a few billion. I'm fairly certain they will not starve, they will be fine.
Without clear ownership. And as a part of that, in 2024, he transferred his stake of the company into a private trust, with his family being the expected beneficiaries. So obviously, if the deal with Architect Capital was already messy,
Yekaterina Chudnovsky.
it just got so much worse.
What
Because
a
the
name.
firm was still in the process of raising the equity it needed when Leonid passed. So it seems like the money simply just wasn't fully there. And suddenly now, investors who've been on the fence were dealing with a whole new layer of issues. Now you have estate laws, a different person now effectively in control of the asset, and deal terms that would now have to be renegotiated with a trust rather than the original seller. So the timeline that was already extended was pushed back once again. And as of this video, the deal remains open. And the future of
You know what? That's it. I will step up and I will buy OnlyFans. Okay, I am opening my wallet right now and I will give them a solid offer that they cannot refuse. Okay, it's going to be mine.
OnlyFans right now is genuine uncertain,
Fly
which is
out.
why it seems like the OnlyFans empire is collapsing. And the company has a current CEO, His name is Kelly Blair, who has been running the day-to-day operations, but what's clear is there's a lot of money at stake, a lot of different interests, and a company that, despite everything working against it, keeps printing cash at a rate that makes it very hard to ignore. So, I mean, it's safe to say whatever happens next will probably not be any more bizarre than the story of this company. I mean, the company's story is how a $10,000 loan from a dad with way too much patience suddenly turned into a $7 billion a year empire ran by some secret Ukrainian billionaire no one has ever heard of. I mean, come on, this is such a crazy story. And I feel like this is just a situation.
Maybe he wasn't even real. Maybe he just needed to get out of the spotlight. He just put like a fake mustache on, and now he's at the Bahamas sipping on a cocktail.
That no one's been talking about, because every time I hear OF in the news, it's about one of their stars making like $1 bazillion a year. So I just wanted to come here and talk about it for a bit. So hey, if you're new here, my name's Atozy, or A to Z, and we talk about...
Oh wait, oh my god, his name is A to Z. A to Z. I hate him.
The laughably stupid stuff and the bizarre things that happen here on the internet.
I always just read it as a Tozy. I never thought about A to Z. I mean, he said it too. A Tozy.
So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the...
I only do it now. What the fuck? What the fuck? Rude. Crazy lore fucking drop. Dude, I wanted to check what happened to this chick.